A long time ago, I raised a son to know his Abrams from his Anderson.
Now we're turning our arguments into content. This is I Am Your Father, where Gen X meets Gen Z in hyperspace.
Hello.
Hello.
Brayden.
Hello, Graham. Father.
Dad.
Father.
Yeah.
Father.
Yeah, you see what I did there with those names? I mean, it wasn't just Abrams and not just two A's, but it was JJ and PT. I mean, you know, like there was thought. There was thought.
You did put some thought into this.
That was a layered intro.
Drop a like to give him some credit.
Break out the Peabody.
Give him some credit.
Yeah, all right.
Let him cook.
That's right. We are jumping into another mini episode where we are just going to jump right into a main topic and not do our 10 and 20 because we're trying to slam a bunch of episodes together for you guys. We don't want you to go a week, not even one.
Not even one
without hearing.
Not
from
ever
us.
again.
I know, not ever again. So we're doing a few mini episodes, and they're fun. They're a lot of fun. Who knows?
I enjoyed the last one.
Who knows what mini means? Could be short, or it could be a different name for a long episode, like we sometimes do.
Yep, the last mini episode was the length of a normal episode. So.
Yeah, it would have been the length of a short normal episode. Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, Brayden, why don't you start? We're just going to jump right into our main topic for this mini episode. Why don't you introduce the topic?
Yeah, we are going to be doing a villain draft. This is going to be movies and television villains. And there are a few different qualifiers here, right? We could just do villains as in just characters who are obviously in the villain role, but characters that you just hate so much. There are the villains that are just so dang cool. There are the villains that you hate to see become villains, where there's no strong definition on what makes a great villain here. There's many different ways to make a great villain, and I have my opinions. You probably have yours.
I do.
I'm pretty happy with my top, 6 or 7. Thinking that I'll get most of those, obviously.
Interesting.
And I think we got some good stuff. So just to be clear, movies and television.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we're not doing any comic book stuff in this.
No
one.
novels. No
novels.
Yeah. So I probably would have chosen first and foremost I would have picked Javert from Les Miserables, but I just can't in good faith do that considering Russell Crowe's terrible cinematic performance of that otherwise stellar villain.
Pretty much single-handedly turned me off to that movie.
I know it's tough because I love it. I love so much about everything else related to Les Miserables. Anyway, so that one's not happening, but otherwise we're good. So we're going to go draft style, right? I get first draft pick this time, don't I? You
do. And also, maybe we should clarify real quick. If you were to say, I don't know who I could throw out here. If you were to give me a character who exists both in books and movies, are we doing a situation where you're like, they're great in the movies, but really the books, I feel like we can't do that. I feel like we have to take the on-screen interpretation of the villain.
I agree. We are aligned. We are aligned on that. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going one. I personally think that this one is kind of a no-brainer. In fact, I dressed the part today. I'm kicking us off with Darth Vader. I'm kicking us off with Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader, the combined persona, as the number one draft pick. To me, this is really the personification of what makes a villain great. Not only are you scared to death about what this villain might do, but you also, on some level, relate to this villain. You ultimately find you find empathy for this villain, and even better, with Darth Vader, you even get a redemption arc as well. So a little sugar on top, I guess. Yeah. So I don't think there's a better. Honestly, I don't think there's a better cinematic villain, period, than Darth Vader.
No. Yeah, it's going to be tough to beat any list that has Vader on it at all. I mean, if he wasn't our number one pick, we would have just either been torn apart or never had another viewer ever moving forward.
Yeah. It's got. We've essentially, and we've named the podcast after a Vader line. So
exactly.
We have to. It makes perfect sense. But I don't think that we're not placating ourselves here. I think this is it's the right choice. He really is that important, I think. I can't think. There's a lot of good villains on my list, a lot of them, some fantastic villains, but I don't think any of them hold a candle to Darth Vader.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to basically agree with you there.
Yeah,
he's gonna be tough to beat. I think I have a contender.
Okay.
And if I don't take him now, I'm sure you will. So in round 2, I'm gonna have to take the Joker, and so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to take all the on-screen interpretations of him or just one. What do you think?
No, I don't. I mean, personally, I think in a situation like the Joker where you have many interpretations of the Joker, oh gosh, that is tough. I was kind of leaning towards. So I definitely also had the Joker on my list. I had a specific Joker on my list, though.
So okay, I'll go that route then.
Yeah, and there are many good ones,
for sure.
Several good ones. Yeah,
but there's only one GOAT.
There's the GOAT Joker.
The GOAT Joker. Round 2 Joker pick is going to be Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, whoa.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Imagine.
Sorry, I stepped on you there. I got ahead of myself.
No.
What was
I love it.
All right. So
Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah,
dude, I mean, talk about some of the most, like one of the most iconic performances of all time. And especially one of the most iconic villain performances of all time. Truly, to this day, cannot watch this movie without just getting chills at how real and terrifying this performance is. Heath Ledger just disappears into this role entirely, and you talk about the unpredictability of what Vader might do. I mean, the Joker is the epitome of chaos, right? Yeah. So, in my opinion, if he's not the best, he's easily in the conversation for best on-screen villain performance of all time.
It's definitely a good point. You are right. I don't know that anything else could rival Vader except for the Joker, and specifically, I do also fully appreciate Heath Ledger's performance of the Joker as the GOAT performance. It is interesting that we've had so many like career-defining Joker performances. From my perspective, we've had 3. I think that we may get another one in time. Actually, come to think of it, I kind of think we maybe even have 4. Career-defining Jokers. If we're counting animated as well.
Yeah, Mark Hamill.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he's Luke Skywalker first and foremost, but I mean, his entire second half of his career, the second phase of his career, is really, I think, defined by his performance of the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, if I was taking a Joker other than Heath Ledger, I'd probably take Hamill's.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was thinking live action completely when I first started doing my count, but it's a really good point.
So was I. So I might have to think outside the box here a little bit coming up, try to see if I can come up with some animated villains. But I mean, I think 1 and 2 are pretty obvious. I think from here on, it's quite a bit harder. In my personal opinion,
it could very well be harder. Yeah, I got to bounce around. I organized my list into like groups, but it's tough. Luckily, I have a little bit more time because you are still on the clock.
I'm still on the clock.
Yeah,
I'll go for my 3. I think I have a pretty good idea of at least 1 or 2 that are going to show up on your list. So I'm struggling here. These 4 villains I have in my next 4 are all really great, but I'm just not sure where to go first. I'm going to be a little... Nope. All right. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for a television series.
Okay.
And I am going to take one of my favorite performances of a villain. I believe one of the most charismatic villains. And I'm going to take Negan from The Walking Dead.
Ooh.
In my 3 slot. I love the heck out of this character. A lot of people say The Walking Dead fell off after Negan first showed up and did what he did. As we all know, someone's eye was hanging out. But it was brutal. It was hard to watch. But beyond that egregious act, Negan's character is so incredibly deep. And as they really start to explore him, I find it just I felt like there was new life breathed into the series that Negan and Jeffrey Dean Morgan brought with him. He's so incredibly charismatic. You just hate this guy's guts, but at the same time, like the little part of you is rooting for him. Like you want him to be on screen because he's got every second of your attention when he is. And again, we don't know what he's going to do. He could turn around and smack someone over the head at any given moment.
Yeah. Yeah. A really interesting choice. I feel like it's high, but it's also compelling. You're right. I mean, I nearly stopped watching The Walking Dead after that episode. It was I just felt like the level of sadism had escalated so quickly that I was just like, I don't know that I can keep watching this show. I didn't give up on. I think I took a break probably, but I did come back to it, and I admit that there's a time when you reluctantly find yourself rooting for Negan, and you're like, wait a second, hold on. Today, just like lunch break, skimming through TikTok, and some meme popped up or some TikTok video popped up that Negan was in, and it was literally just like, him walking in a scene in slow motion, and they had some other odd like music juxtaposed against this, and I was walking. I was like, "Damn, he's just so cool.
He's so cool.
He's so cool." And then I'm like, "Wait a second, he killed my favorite character on that show,
and you hate him for it."
Oh, I do so badly. And he was just so brutal. I think if he'd actually killed Carl, I would have. I don't think I could have come back from that. But
yeah, that would have been too much to happen all at once for sure.
Really, really interesting choice, son. Really interesting choice. You make some good points. I did not see that one coming.
Well, you're going to see a lot of personal bias come out of my list today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take in the number 4 slot, the one I thought you were about to take. So I'm happy that you didn't. I'm going with Heisenberg himself, Walter White, from Breaking Bad.
Damn, I think, you.
Truly iconic performance. A villain that becomes a villain over the course of multiple seasons. I think to me, relatability and villainy combined are that they're the two sides of the coin that I think make a truly compelling villain, which is necessary for a truly compelling protagonist, a truly compelling hero. I don't think it can work without that foil, and so it can't just be this. Michael Myers type of I don't know, senseless killing machine. That's not compelling. That's just I'm not I don't think you're not going to find a slasher on my list. I think you're going to find characters like Walter White, who you literally watch go from this everyday dad to eventually becoming this just absolutely gruesome, horrific villain, who even he. His own family recognizes is a truly despicable individual, and yet, you're also on a certain level rooting for Heisenberg.
Yeah.
So, I love Walter White, and I think that show is super compelling because we see the birth of this villain.
Yeah. Damn it, man. I thought I could get it past you. I thought I might be able to get it next round. He's an all-time villain. And if you have watched The Breaking Bad and don't see him as the villain of that show, you need to rewatch it because holy crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
That hurts. That hurts. You having Vader and Heisenberg on your list, that's going to be tough to beat. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I got another one here that I think I might surprise you on, but when you realize just how good of a pick this is, you're going to be kicking yourself for this not to be there. In the 5 slot, I am taking Michael Corleone of The Godfather, Godfather 2, and the lesser appreciated Godfather Part 3. Pacino's performance is truly captivating. You watch him also sort of, he starts off as this war hero, this kid who's not going to be part of the family business, who doesn't want anything to do with the villainy that's that is his father, and yet he becomes arguably more villainous than Vito, the Godfather, was. And it's just it's I think it's an all-time great. And again, another villain to me where you are both frightened by him and rooting for him at the same time. You can't justify some of the choices that he makes. You can't forgive some of the things that he does. And yet at the same time, I mean, generations of people are aspire to be like Michael Corleone in some crazy weird way.
Yeah.
I think that this is a really good sleeper pick on my part.
It is a good sleeper pick. I think you might lose some of the casual viewer with that pick, but I will agree with you. It's a great pick.
Are you suggesting our viewers are not savvy enough to know Michael Corleone? Come on.
I'm not saying they don't know him. I think some of the people more my age are going to appreciate some of my villains more.
You guys feel me, don't you? Come on. Okay, well, I mean, it is a generational. There is a generational divide that we focus on here, but I think that my people are going to come for me. They've got me.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
I've got 6 and 7.
You do.
And, I'll stagger it again. I went movie, then show. I'll go another movie since I can hit a show right
Okay.
after. And again,
Yep.
I don't think this villain's going to be anywhere on your list.
Okay.
You might even think it's ridiculous. And unfortunately, I'm not repping the correct shirt because I just wore it. But I'm going to take Davy Jones in my 6th slot.
I totally misread your play there. Okay. Davy Jones.
I'm taking Davy Jones.
All right.
For several reasons. I absolutely love this performance. I love the aesthetic of him with the tentacles and the claw and the peg leg. I love the aesthetic of his ship. I love the line delivery. The voice of Davy Jones is not your typical villain. He speaks kind of almost how Voldemort is described in the Harry Potter books, as nasally. Like, your villains aren't typically nasally. They usually have deep, intimidating voices, but Davy Jones has a kind of a high-pitched, unsettling voice. We see him put these characters in several situations that, of course, they would never want to find themselves in. He controls the Kraken, which is just talk about aura. I mean, this guy's full of it. But at the same time, he at times is extremely relatable. He became who he is because he fell for the wrong woman, right? His heart was broken, and so he cut it out. I mean, this is
Oldest story in the book.
Yeah, the lore of Davy Jones is just so cool. Like, he cut his heart out and he locked it away in a chest, and we mean literally he did that. And so the whole fight for Davy Jones's heart to then have control over the man or the monster, you might say, and then to then have control over the beast, the Kraken, I think is super incredible. I love the way his story ends. Really great villain to go up against when we have our characters like Jack Sparrow and Will Turner and Elizabeth. Really compelling villain for me. And the design is just so dang cool.
It is one of the coolest designed villains. The combination of this sea creature meets the sort of Blackbeard kind of classical pirate style is very cool. It's an amazing performance. Yeah, for sure. I don't know that I feel like there's a lot. Davy Jones is a good villain. There's no doubt, and I'm on board with that. I don't know that I think he is necessarily Mount Rushmore style. I don't know that he's necessarily top 10 kind of scenario, but I do think that that it's a solid choice. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, my list is heavily driven by projects that I personally really love.
Yeah.
And so I love The Walking Dead and I love the Pirates movies, and so I really appreciate the villains.
The weak point for me in his story is actually that I struggle to see the chemistry between him and Naomi Harris as Callista. Is that or
Calypso?
Calypso. I struggle to see the chemistry there. So my big hot take is if I could recast this, I would have put Zoe Saldana in that role instead of Naomi Harris. And I think
would have worked much better. I agree.
It would have worked better. Or I mean, I'm sure there's a few other choices. I like Naomi Harris in many things. I think she was great in Skyfall and others. But I this particular performance of hers, it doesn't really work for me, and I don't see the chemistry between them. So to me, it hurts his place on our list or his perspective. But it doesn't matter because you put him there, so he's on our list now.
I put him there. He's on my list. Something
Yeah.
I really appreciate about certain villains is the way that other characters talk about them.
Yeah.
Obviously, John Wick is not a villain. At least,
Right.
like, he wouldn't fit this list, right? He's the
Yeah,
hero of our story.
Right, he's the
But
protagonist.
even though he kills many, many people, but the way they talk about the Baba Yaga is just incredible, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
I similarly feel the way that they talk about Davy Jones just really adds to the character. Like the lore, the fear, the aura of Davy Jones is really up there for me. And so, and he never is disappointing when actually on screen. So he's, to me, an equal presence off screen as he is on screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
In my seventh slot, I'm going to go back to TV.
Okay.
Back to a series. And I'm not sure if this guy's on your list. He probably should be. I don't think that there has ever been another character that the world has collectively agreed on as much needed to die as soon as possible. Everybody wanted to see this villain die a painful, horrible death. And spoiler alert, he did. In my seventh slot, I'm going to take Joffrey Baratheon. This little piece of crap is just the worst whenever he's on screen. The performance is incredible, but God, do you just hate this little twerp with everything inside you.
Yeah. He was a villain in many ways, though. I saw him more as, just a snot-nosed little kid. So I guess to me, and I'm gonna just let you know that I'm not gonna take this, and I don't think you are either. Now that you've taken Joffrey, but I would have put Cersei at a higher place on this list if I was going Game of Thrones, because to me, Joffrey in many ways was Cersei's puppet.
Absolutely.
So
100%, you're absolutely correct. Cersei was the puppet master. But
yeah,
and I really considered putting her on the list in his place.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, truly, can you think of a character in anything that you have wanted to die as badly as this little guy?
Yeah, I mean, great question. I haven't thought about it that way. I think what people do I want to die most in film? That's a different draft. Maybe, I don't know. But for sure we did, and it was oddly satisfying when it happened. So I get it for sure. All right, so we are through 7, and things are getting tough because, gosh, there are still so many good ones out there. I am looking right now at I'm looking at 4 on my list. I only have 2 left, and I'm struggling to decide who I'm going to pick. I know that I'm pretty sure that a couple of these are not going to make the list at all, so we'll have to do some honorable mentions. But we're going to take some heat on this. In the 8th slot, I am going to take Severus Snape.
So you're not huge on the Severus is actually a hero.
No, I mean, I get the redemption arc. I get that it's there, but I think that he is portrayed as a villain throughout, and his heroism only becomes clear at I think a very, very late point. And I'm talking cinematic, not the books themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and classify Severus Snape as a villain. I think he is the villain of the first several films at least, and I think that over time we start to see certain aspects of his relationship with Lily and his relationship with Dumbledore that start to make him more and more sympathetic, which again to me is what qualifies as a great villain. Ultimately, he does prove to be heroic, but no less heroic than say Darth Vader does in his final moments.
Right.
And so I stand by the choice. I think yes, it might be considered unconventional. You know, obviously the true villain of Harry Potter stories will not be named at this point because I don't want to spoil it. I'm just kidding. I mean, that's sort of a he will
must not be named.
Yeah. Anyway, but I think Severus is the more compelling villain of the Harry Potter stories, and I think that his redemption arc is what makes it so.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, can't argue with that. I think that'd be a fun list to do some other time. Is best redemption arcs. I think that could be interesting, and he could definitely be up there. But yeah, another character that you pretty much love to hate, right? Snape is absolutely so hateable.
Absolutely. Oh gosh, man, we are. This last one for me is going to be really hard.
We're getting down to it, and it is tough.
Well, I have a right now, I'd say it's toughest. It's toughest to narrow it down. Like I feel like I have just a couple too many that I'd love to see on this list. You know, we talked in our last ranking about, you know, I came to a top 10 draft and I really only brought 6 ideas, and when you took or 7 ideas, and when you took anyway, you took 2 of my ideas, and then I got down to my final pick, and I had to scramble and find a new one. I came to this draft with a solid 12 options. At least.
Yeah, me too.
And so I know there's a lot that's going to fall short. For number 9, I am going to try and round out my list a little bit. So some of this is in an effort to fully round out my list, and I'm going to go with Thanos from the MCU.
Great pick.
And you know, I think there's a certain aspect of relatability that you eventually get to with Thanos. I think especially in the beginning of Endgame, there's an aspect where there's just sort of this satisfied Thanos that you almost, you know, who's you know, he's going to start gardening, doing his thing, you know, and kind of you almost feel for the guy. He's just such a great villain though, and I truly believe that he is the glue that holds the Infinity Saga together. And so I think that can't be discounted.
Mind you, really only being the main villain for 2 movies.
Yeah, absolutely. But his presence looms.
Oh, absolutely.
And every other villain up until that point is subservient to, is manipulated by, is working for Thanos, you know?
I challenge any other villain on this list to go bar for bar with Thanos. His lines are some of the best lines in the MCU altogether. I mean, all that for a drop of blood. Fun isn't one something considers when balancing the fate of the universe, but this does put a smile on my face. You know, I hope they remember you. I mean, it goes on and on.
Oh, I mean, and my favorite Thanos line that is just so heartbreaking when he looks at the Scarlet Witch and he says, "I don't even know who you are."
So good, good.
It's just
incredible villain.
Yeah,
we talked about Aura earlier. This dude can't go 15 seconds without dropping the new best line of the movie.
Yeah.
So I got to give you that.
Brolin's performance is pretty remarkable. It's I think maybe even what's most remarkable is how much of that comes through in the CGI. You know, I mean, you just know it's him, and you can feel every emotion on his face, good or bad.
It feels so real.
Yeah, it does. It feels very real.
I have to give that to you. He's far and away the best villain of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he was in the running for my last pick also. I wasn't sure that you would go that route, so I'm a little surprised, but
yeah.
But well, I get it.
Like I said, I was trying to round it out, right? I mean, I've got one of the great all-time TV villains, I think, if not the greatest ever, in Walter White. I've got Darth Vader, the greatest of all time, period. Then I've got the greatest from the mafia genre, and now I think I've got the greatest from superhero genre. So I feel
And the
really
greatest
strong.
out of all the potions teachers.
That's right. And that's right. And I forgot about super. I don't know that there's a more. There's not. There is certainly more iconic, but he's an iconic character from the Harry Potter world, and I think it's a solid list I've just delivered, and I don't think that you're going to be able to pull this out with your last pick. Sorry.
I just might. I'm very surprised. I really thought that Hans Landa was going to make your list. I really thought he was going to. I mean,
interesting. A really great villain. There's no doubt about it. An amazing villain. Yeah.
I mean, you've never been so scared to be offered milk from a villain before. So
no. That's a really good one. It's on my honorable mention as well. I struggled. I think I would have gone that way, but I felt like I needed to get into superhero world as well.
You had to play the game.
Yeah. I want a good, well-rounded list of villains, but that's an excellent choice. Is that your 10, or are you just teasing right now?
It's not. I'm just teasing. I think my 10 similarly rounds my list out also. I'm actually going to take a villain from animation, which we don't have any on our list unless you consider the other animated versions of them. But I'm going to take, in my 10th round pick, Scar from The Lion King. I think Scar is pretty easily the definitive Disney villain.
Interesting.
I don't know what's more evil than convincing a child that his father's death is on him. I mean, that is just about the worst thing you could possibly do.
It's pretty effed up.
He coordinates the death of Mufasa. He convinces what is his name? What is the Simba? Duh.
Simba? That's what you were struggling to come up with, Simba?
He convinces Simba that it's on him, it's his fault, he needs to run away. He outcasts the young king. He takes over the whole pride. He eats in gluttonous fashion and bleeds the land dry. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, he is a coward when he is faced in a match that he can't win. He tucks his tail between his legs and his true colors come out. I mean, he's very much a pull the strings kind of a villain. He's not as much of the physical threat as he is the manipulation and the emotional torment kind of villain.
Yeah. In the end, he talks a bigger game than he can play.
Yeah, but he talks a big game. And he plays a pretty big game also. I think he's pretty much the definitive animated movie villain.
Interesting.
I think he brings my list to a good close.
I might have gone with Jafar in that spot. I don't know if I was going with Disney animated. Like, there's something pretty dang creepy about the way that Jafar looks at Jasmine. Like,
for sure.
Like, there's more going on. Like, that guy needs to be seriously locked up.
Absolutely. Stop trying to draw attention from my awesome last pick, though.
I don't know. There's so many guys. Okay, well, so before we run through our recap here of this list, and I'll do the recap for this episode. Do you have any honorables that you want to throw out other than Hans?
Other than Hans, yeah, I have a few. Obviously,
that almost made it.
Yeah,
like, realistically,
that almost made it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you the ones that almost made my list.
Okay.
Voldemort is obviously in the conversation when it comes to great villains. And the reason he was held back for me is I feel as though his presence is far more intimidating in the books than in the movies. We have a phenomenal performance from Ralph Fiennes in the movies, but for me, I had a hard time putting him on the list when I knew that there was a better version of that character. Also, Sauron is kind of a different choice because he doesn't really have a body, right? He's more of that ever looming, almost demonic presence, right? He ensnares and captures your mind and just twists you and bends you to his will. I think it's pretty terrifying and portrayed expertly in the Lord of the Rings movies. So
I think it is in some ways portrayed better in the Lord of the Rings than it actually is. I think that Peter Jackson somehow manages to bring that evil, or to personify that evil in the way that he does it. But otherwise, I never found it particularly compelling in the read. Interesting, because in the Lord of the Rings, I would have actually put Gollum on that list as the, again, a villain that you ultimately sympathize with on some level, and the struggle is what's even more compelling. If I going Lord of the Rings, I would have gone Gollum.
Fair. I only have 3 more.
Okay.
This one I feel is maybe a bit of a sleeper, and another Hans Gruber from Die Hard. I think another Alan Rickman performance, really just phenomenal.
Interesting.
Great villain.
I mean, you did choose his brother's performance with Scar. Jeremy Irons' Scar was Hans's brother.
Yep, exactly.
A good villain too, by the way. I forgot about him in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yep. And then we have William Dafoe as the Green Goblin. I think is just really awesome. In a lot of ways, he plays very similar to Joker, but especially in No Way Home, I think he's incredible in Spider-Man 1. He's probably the best part of Spider-Man, but in No Way Home, I think he pretty quickly solidified himself, if you can count him on the list, as one of the best villains in the MCU at that point. He was just completely menacing. He was taking names. I mean, he killed Aunt May,
Yeah.
And then just went punch for punch with Spider-Man after that and just taunted him to kill him. I quote him very often, all the time.
Yeah.
Quote him, send GIFs. And lastly, my last sleeper pick is going to be...
Hold on. Hard disagree on Dafoe. Easily the reason that I find the first Spider-Man film with Tobey Maguire unwatchable. I don't get the hype, but it's mostly because I find the villain laughable. I find him as Green Goblin laughable. I recently saw a clip that talked about the original mask they were going to put on him. It was so much more compelling. The mask is just terrible. It's just they should have gone with their original intent. And to me it looked like a bad Power Rangers villain that I had no interest in seeing on the screen. I think he was better in No Way Home, but I don't agree. I don't think he's a particularly compelling villain.
Outside of the 3 Spider-Men, he's the best part of No Way Home. They took the mask off. They changed him up a little bit, and he is so menacing. I mean, acting. I find Melina's Doc Ock significantly more compelling in that film. Extremely compelling. But dude, just the scene where Peter is trying to cure them all, and there's the scene him and Norman are working together. His spider sense is going off. He webs Green Goblin, and there's this moment where just in William Dafoe's face, you see the shift from Norman Osborn to Green Goblin, and the voice changes, and it's like chill-inducing. And then we talk about great lines. He's fighting Spider-Man, and he's shouting at him, strong enough to have it all, too weak to take it, as he's just slamming him through the floor. Then he kills Aunt May and dips. Shows up later and almost kills MJ.
I mean, listen, I get that they gave him a lot of good stuff to do, and they gave him some good lines. I just don't see it, and I definitely don't see it in the first Spider-Man.
You're insane.
I'm glad he's not on the list, and I would have never put him on the list.
All right, whatever. You're insane.
Sorry, you had one more.
Everybody disregard what he said.
No, I know it's an unpopular opinion. I mean, people consistently overrate this film. I don't get it at all, and I think. I mean, it's not even, like I said, it's not even just his performance, but just that mask just makes the whole thing completely unbelievable.
I can't wait for everybody to be so mad at you.
I don't care. I don't care. It's shit. It's absolute shit. And I just don't get it. It's so bad. Honestly, now that I've said Power Rangers, you're not going to be able to unsee that. I'm telling you. Go back and watch it again, and then just I'm just going to do a cut of a Power Rangers TV show, and then instead of the villains that they have back in the lair, I'm gonna insert the Green Goblin from Spider-Man, and you're not gonna be able to tell the difference.
So my last honorable mention is gonna be Syndrome from The Incredibles.
Oh,
I really
Okay.
love this performance. I think he is just super fun, super hilarious.
Jason Lee, right? Is Jason Lee?
I'm actually not even sure, but I think every delivery is really great. I love the motivation of the character. I love the way it ties back to the beginning of the movie. Just really fun villain, and his demise is equally as fun. And that's going to round off my honorable mentions.
Your honorables. Okay, I'll go through mine quick. Interestingly enough, my honorable mentions and yours don't cross over at all. So I had another MCU villain. I had Loki in there. I really struggled to decide. I mean, you called out Severus Snape as being a hero rather than a villain. I think they changed the Loki arc pretty quick, but I still see Loki as a lovable villain, and I think he's a lot of fun to watch. But so I think he's an honorable mention, but he's not in my top 10. We already mentioned Cersei Lannister. I had her down here as well. Ultimately, I find her not relatable, so I kept her off my list. Tony Soprano is another one that I had down. Ultimately, I felt like Corleone was the better choice in that particular genre, so Tony got bumped for Corleone. But I think Tony Soprano is a pretty amazing and important villain, especially to TV history. Here's one I for sure thought. My next two I for sure thought were going to be on your list, actually. Magneto.
Yep.
I thought that, especially going back to we talked recently about the X-Men and its place in infamy in terms of the franchise itself. I thought that the both performances from Sir Ian McKellen and from Michael Fassbender as Eric as well as Magneto, like it just you truly understand the anguish and the pain and the hate that this person feels in a way that very few villains get you to feel hate, relatable hate in some way. And so I that was a really tough one for me to choose. Again, Thanos won out for me over Magneto, but that was a really tough one. And then my last one I also thought you might go for, and that's Killmonger. I know that when Black Panther came out, both of us talked a lot about how much we felt like one of the strongest points of that film is Killmonger and the relatability of him as a villain, and and how much you can kind of understand where he's coming from,
Totally.
So that's my honorable mention list. I think those are solid. I don't know if you have anything you want to throw out based on that list, but
no, I think you said pretty much everything.
Cool. All right. Well, let me recap then. All right. This is our top 10 villain draft. In the number 1 slot, I took the GOAT of all goats, Darth motherfucking Vader, in the number 1 spot, and then Braden took arguably the only villain that could potentially compete here is the Joker, specifically highlighting Heath Ledger's performance in the number 2 slot. Followed up, Braden has Negan from The Walking Dead in 3. Pretty high on the list in my opinion, but a solid villain. Here's where it gets good. Number 4, Walter White, I select in the number 4 slot from Breaking Bad. And then I follow it up with Michael Corleone from The Godfather, and particularly Godfather Part 2 in the number 5 slot. Braden circles back with Davy Jones from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise and Joffrey Baratheon from Game of Thrones. Notes that there's never been a villain we all wanted to see die more universally and in a more painful way. I take a controversial pick here with Severus Snape in the 8 slot. Hero, villain, both. I think villain first. That's why I put him there. Number 9, I round out the MCU's big baddie Thanos. And then Braden finishes off our list in the 10 slot with Disney's Scar. And the honestly really great performance by Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are 10 phenomenal villains.
Yeah. I think for sure I've got you here though. I think my team is gonna win pretty hands down.
It's possible. You might have me on this one. You have Vader, Heisenberg, and Thanos. Those are 3 very heavy hitters. But I don't know. Joker, Joffrey, Scar, Negan, and Davy Jones, I think is pretty dang solid. I'm happy with my list.
Good. So long as you're happy, I'm happy.
Okay. All right, man. Game over.
All right. Well, we have drafted, we've debated, we've disagreed. They're not about who shot first. It's all just another day in the galaxy.
So, whether you're Gen X, Gen Z, or somewhere lost in the timeline, please continue to listen, like, share, and subscribe to I Am Your Father.
Until the next episode, where we'll work on our lines, remember that with great power comes a great second breakfast, but winter is also coming, so may the force live long and prosper with you.
We can do this all day. Boom.
I don't even know